Hello and welcome to another video. Today we're gonna make a tier list of all of the Fire Emblem games, even the spin-offs. This tier list will be based on the gameplay. So no story will be taken into account here, only gameplay. I have played and beaten every Fire Emblem game, even the spin-offs, except for Fire Emblem Warriors. I've not beaten the whole game there, the first one. So, take that one with a grain of salt, I guess, but I mean, it's a Warriors game. If you've played any of the Warriors games, you know what to expect. We're gonna get to it eventually, so I guess we'll go right into it. Fire Emblem is, by the way, probably still my favorite video game series of all time, so I have some opinions about it, of course. And I've tried all of the games, I've played all of them, multiple how do I say, playthroughs, so except for some of them, which I'm gonna mention. So Fire Emblem 1, we're gonna start with Fire Emblem 1. Fire Emblem 1 it's a very old game at this point. A lot of them are actually, but it's the first one. It's a game, I would say, at least for me, you play once and then never again. It's an experience, but with so many quality of life, stuff missing from it, I can't really put it high. For me, this is a game you play once and never again. And it got remade twice, actually, technically 3 times. So yeah, I'd rather, put it down here. It's not a bad game per se. It's an experience. It's a fun game. But for me personally, it's play it once and then never again. Maybe I'll pick it up again someday. I probably will. But for now, that one playthrough is all I did. Then we have Gaiden, we have all the spicy ones. So Gaiden is completely different to Fire Emblem 1. It has an overworld map. It has monster battles. It has a split route as well. It features 2 main characters. So if either of them die, it's game over. It has a lot of innovations. The class system also works differently here. It's very clunky. I would say it's more frustrating than Fire Emblem 1. That's definitely for sure. It's way more frustrating than Fire Emblem 1. So Fire Emblem 1 is more enjoyable than this, for me at least. But it's, again, a game you probably will play once and then maybe never again, unless you really like the playstyle of it, the gameplay of it. Also, it got remade. We're gonna get to its remake later. So, in my opinion, just play this one once and then go play the remake. It's a really good remake. We're gonna get to it, as I said. So, for this, I'm gonna actually move this one to C and this one to D. But both are play once. They're both enjoyable in their own ways, but I still much more enjoyed this one, Fire Emblem 1. So then we have Fire Emblem 3, which is technically a remake of Fire Emblem 1, as it was split into Book 1, Book 2, basically 2 parts. And Book 1 was basically a remake of the first game, and then Book 2 was a sequel to the first game. Some content got cut because, if I remember correctly, the cartridge was actually not big enough for all of it. So some of the content got cut, so it's not a true remake, I guess, in that sense. But it brought a lot of quality of life changes. It is, in a sense, way more modern feeling than the games before. I think this is a game that I will play multiple times. Again, the first 3 games I've only beaten once, so for now I only have 1 playthrough under my belt for all of them, but 3 is definitely a game I see myself going back to and playing. So it's gonna go above Shadow Dragon, that's for sure. I don't know if it's gonna be rank. We're gonna see how the tier list develops, but I'm gonna put it here for now. Fire Emblem 4. Now, if this was story-wise, spoilers, this one would be right here at the top, but we're going gameplay-wise. Again, this is a game that changed a lot of things. Its chapters are big. There's not a lot of chapters in the game. It's, I think, 12, if I'm not mistaken, and the prologues and everything, but So I love chapters, but they're big, they're huge, they're like war scale chapters, so you capture castles and everything. It's different. It's completely different. The trading is different. You have to sell your items, then your other characters have to buy them. You have arenas in towns. You have to, well, you don't have to, but you know, you beat the arenas to quote unquote grind. You have to repair your weapons all the time. They can break, but you don't lose them if they break. Like it's a mess. There's also the first generation, second generation. I'm not gonna go into spoilers here. It's a huge game. It's a big game. The gameplay, like, I like a lot of the changes, or rather, it is changes, but it's the only game that has them. For example, the trading and the big maps and all. I like it, but for example, moving is quite boring because you literally have to move your army across a huge map. Arrive, obviously, horse units and flyers as well have a big advantage here, so a lot of your foot units just fall behind. You do get the warp staff, I don't remember if the rescue staff is in this game, I think it is, yeah. So you can kinda mitigate some of this stuff, and you need to like pre-plan where units are going. So you kinda need knowledge as well from before, so you know, send the foot units here so they're ready when you capture this with your mounted units, so they can advance on this castle, so you min-max. But I've beaten this game many times, but gameplay wise, I would put it somewhere here. I definitely enjoyed it more than all of these, but it does get repetitive fast, at least for me, because of the huge maps. Because I don't want to just bench people, I want to use everyone. Especially in this game, it lets you use everyone, right? In other games, you have a pick screen, you pick who you want for that battle, and that's it. In this game, you can pick everyone, you can use everyone, and I like doing that. Because I like using everything at my disposal, right? So I don't know, I'll put it in B for now, but I think it's gonna go lower. We'll see. Then we have Thracia, another game that just completely changed a lot of things. For example, you can now capture enemy units and steal their weapons away. So that's how you restock a lot of your stuff, and then you obviously can sell that stuff as well, so you can generate money with doing that. There's a lot of skills. Obviously, I forgot to mention, yeah, Fire Emblem 4 had skills. Fire Emblem 5 also has skills. It also has some scrolls that improve your growths of your units. There was god weapons as well in the 4th game. 5 also has one, but it's nerfed obviously because they were super strong. 5 is... I've beaten this game 2 times fully, and 1 time I came to the middle and then I lost my save file, so that one was lost to the ages. But Fire Emblem 5 is it's kind of like Fire Emblem 2, they're like the dark horses of the early ages, I would say. But is it fun? It has a lot of frustrating things, but I would say it's fun, yeah. It's way more fun than Fire Emblem 4, that's for sure. It goes definitely above Fire Emblem 4. I don't think it's A tier, there's still a lot of frustration that it has, so I don't think it's gonna go to A tier. B tier is, I think, fine. Fire Emblem 6. So we go to the GBA era now, and a new director as well. Shozo Kaga is gone at this point, and a new director has taken over, so we have basically standardized kinda the gameplay now. Not as much experimenting anymore. Fire Emblem 6 is it's a vanilla Fire Emblem. It's weird to say, but it's a good starting game. But there's Fire Emblem 7, which is, in my opinion, just superior to it for a new player, because Fire Emblem 6 has, for example, lower hit rates across the board of all units. The growth rates of units are also lower, so it's harder in that sense, and its hard mode is actually quite hard. And getting the true ending, you actually need to, know what you're doing, kinda. You can just go blind in and do stuff and you're gonna get it. You can definitely miss stuff in it. I think it's a fun game though. I really do think it's a super fun game. The GBA games, all in all, are probably my favorite of all of them, still to this day, but Fire Emblem 6 is the least favorite of the GBA titles for me, so it's gonna go above Thracia, I guess. But I think, is this a weird one? These two are kind of the same for me. But I think, no, I would put Thresha above, actually, Fire Emblem 6 in enjoyment for me, just because of the low hit rates. I don't enjoy low hit rates. I don't enjoy when the RNG is that skewed. Fire Emblem 7 is definitely gameplay-wise S or high B tier. A, sorry. A or high B tier for me. Now, do I go B or A? I'll go B for now, I think. Or no, let's go A. Let's go A. Yeah, I think I'll go A with this one. Fire Emblem 8, in my opinion, is just a upgrade to Fire Emblem 7. You have split promotions for classes. You have the trainee classes. The skills, quote-unquote, make a comeback. The overworld map is fun, at least to me. The route split is good. I like that. The monsters, fresh, like just something new, I guess. So it's just an all-round game for me. It's got everything I want in a Fire Emblem game. And it's very, 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 very moddable as well. The engine it's built in, it's super good. So it's just infinite amounts of fun for me. So Sacred Stones is S tier for me, gameplay-wise. And you can just do a simple patch of buffing all of the enemy units by like 20%. And it's harder because this is regarded as the easiest game in the series. Also, like, the best for beginners usually, or Fire Emblem 7. But you can make it harder for yourself, you know. And I still like using Seth. Even if I go easy mode, I still like using Seth. You can use whoever you want. I don't know. It's just an all-round game for me. I love it. Path of Radiance. Path of Radiance is basically like Fire Emblem 7 for me. It's just a different lore, different story. But the gameplay to me is the same. So these two are on par with each other. I would say actually it's above Fire Emblem 7 a bit. But the engine... No. The engine is the problem with this game. It's so slow. It's so slow. So yeah, no, 7 is above it still, just because of the engine. Radiant Dawn. Radiant Dawn introduced third tier classes, so a double promotion. So you promote once and then again. I like that. It had no split promotions. It had 3 parties you used, which was super fun to use. Had 5 acts, and then a final tower as well. It's a super fun game. So I think I'm putting it above here. Above Path of Radiance. Is it above Fire Emblem 7? Yeah, I think it's above Fire Emblem 7 as well. It's a super fun game. I can get it in. Nice. Super fun game. Very long though. Very, very long game. Shadow Dragon. Shadow Dragon's like Fire Emblem 7 but boring. The engine doesn't do it for me. The art style doesn't do it for me. I would even put it below here. I don't know, it's just such a basic game. I like playing it, but the fact that they removed the dodge stat, I mean, they removed it, they destroyed it, just doesn't do it for me. This one's definitely more fun. It's above Fire Emblem 6. This is New Mystery of the Emblem. These are the remakes of the first and third game. They're kinda samey. New Mystery definitely added a lot of quality of life updates, so it's above, of course. And it's above Fire Emblem 6 as well for me, so it's gonna go here, high B tier. Then we have Awakening. Awakening is a lot of ways similar to Fire Emblem 7, but has skills, has children as well. It's enjoyable. You can break the game with the skills and the children. I would say it's above here in terms of gameplay. It's just the stories holds it back. The ugly combat animations and models are just, yeah. But the gameplay is still fun. I can get behind it. Conquest, everyone loves Conquest. I am one of the people that actually despises Conquest's gameplay. I would put it at the end of B or above here in C. No, it's definitely here under FE4. I don't like Conquest gameplay, it's just not for me. I much prefer the Revelations, which is very weird because nobody likes Revelations. Of course, there's the ice maps and everything, but I definitely prefer the Revelations to Conquest. Do I prefer it over Shadow Dragon? Yeah, I would say so. I'll put it here. Birthright, yeah, it's a no for me. I didn't like Birthright at all. The gameplay was not appealing to me. I like the classes, the samurais and everything. I do. It's just no. No. It's the worst of the three Fates paths for me, sadly. Echoes. This is S tier for me. Not as good as Sacred Stones. It has its... So this is the remake of Fire Emblem 2. It's a very faithful remake, so all of the bad map design stayed in. All of the clunky stuff is in. They changed some balancing stuff around, but it's mostly like the same game. The music is amazing, the animation is super good, everything is just, it's such a good game. It's a really good game. The DLC was kind of meh. It was just a grind fiesta basically, but the base game is super good. Yeah, I'll put it. The whole thing holding this game back is the maps, the faithful maps. Now we go to 3 houses. I've beaten 3 houses, each path at least 3 times, I think. I never attempted Maddening. I don't enjoy that, so that's why I also skipped that in all of the other titles. For example, New Mystery and Shadow Dragon with their insane difficulty options. Like the... I don't know what it's called, but all of the enemy units attack before you do. It's not for me, just not for me. 3 houses, I enjoyed breaking characters, but it's... You know, I thought it was gonna be like Awakening, but the Monastery, if you remove the Monastery, the game definitely goes here up next to Awakening. The maps are kind of bland, but everything else is fun. I like building the characters. But the Monastery is just exhausting to me. It's kind of like the Fates base, but it's just worse. Delius did amazing bases. I loved it. And this is just a failed base for me. I'd put it here, I guess. Yeah, it wasn't as big of a slog as bases in FE4. And the bases in Shadow Dragon is definitely better, but no, Shadow Dragon goes behind, like this. Engage, ugh, don't get me started with Engage. I hated the base in this, it made a return in Engage. The gameplay was good, I like the gameplay a lot, it's just the base. It's definitely above 3 houses, it's definitely above Rev. Is it above FE6 though? I don't think so. Maybe. Is it above... Oh, it's a hard one. New Mystery was definitely less fun than it. Same with FE6. But Thracia is still more fun, in my opinion. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it like this. This seems fine to me. So these are all the main Fire Emblem games. Now we're gonna go to the spin-offs. Heroes. If you asked me in the first 3 years, definitely A tier. Right now, I would say, if you wanna collect only, it's like B or A tier. If you wanna do meta stuff, if you're into that, I would say like C tier, maybe B tier, because it requires either a lot of money or a lot of research, and I don't wanna do either. I just wanna collect. So the gameplay has gotten so bad as well. I hate reading the long skills, and I play Yu-Gi-Oh all the time, and these skills are just overwhelming for me. I can't be bothered, you know. I just want my silver sword to have more damage than the enemy steel sword, that's it. So Heroes is definitely going bottom of C tier in its current state, and it's getting even worse. Currently there's new heroes that just create terrain. I saw it in the tactics drills, or whatever they're called, and I just gave up. Yeah, it's not for me anymore. I just collect units now. Warriors, not a fan of Warriors games that much, like hack and slash games. I played the Fate ones as well. Just not for me, I guess. But if I compare it to the next Warriors games, this one was more fun than Birthright, sorry. Yeah, it was more fun than Birthright, yeah. But this one's actually, I enjoyed this one a lot. I would even say it's above Fire Emblem 4 for me in terms of enjoyment. It's actually a fun game to play. This one wasn't as fun for me. I don't know. I just couldn't get into this one. This one feels way better. Maybe it's the main character. I don't know. I really like Shaz a lot. I do not like Rovan, and I don't even know her name. That's how, forgettable they are for me. So yeah, I think it fits up here, yeah. Now these two are basically the same. This is just the Wii U version, and this is then the Switch re-release. Basically, the DLC that was released here is just in the base game of the Encore, and some extra stuff was added, so I think I'm gonna put them together. But I actually enjoyed this game. It was the first time I played this genre, and I liked the game a lot. I really did. It was super fun. I was very, very slow because I was exploring everything for the first time, but it was actually super fun. I had a lot of fun with this game. I'm gonna put it up here. Obviously, these are together because they're the same game, so it doesn't matter. Encore's just a strictly better game, so I'm gonna put it above. But yeah, this looks fine to me. Yeah, it's about what I expected. It's funny seeing Awakening here. If we go by story, it's definitely gonna be down here somewhere. So yeah, I guess this is my Fire Emblem tier list. This is gameplay wise only, and it kind of includes the music as well and the art and everything. But obviously, like 80% of it is just straight up gameplay, how the characters feel, how the engine itself feels as well, how the battles flow, how the balance is, the weapons are, skills, classes, whatever. The support system, I don't particularly care about it. Like, if I like a character, I might go read their supports online, but in the game, never really cared about it. Like, in Fire Emblem 4, for example, it was just a frustration keeping units together, so I would get the desirable results. I'm obviously not gonna spoil anything here, so try to spoil. I mean, you can probably know what I'm saying here, but yeah, that's how it goes for me. I like it. If you asked me like 3-4 years ago, it would definitely be different. I think Awakening would have been lower down, and I think Fire Emblem 7 even would have been lower down, and Thracia would have been lower down. But I went back, I replayed all of them, fresh mind. I did some drafts as well. I did actually one summer, I beat every game with custom drafts made by my friends, which made me use units I usually don't use or never used actually. Like Thomas, for example, in I think it was Shadow Dragon. I just made him a cavalier. I made him javelins, and he just threw javelins at people. That's what he did. He did chip damage, and he was good at it. I just like experimenting. I like doing whatever I can with the units I have. So yeah, that's gonna be it for my Fire Emblem tier list. It's a long video actually, it's 23 minutes, but hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.